Hello, welcome everyone. I'm very excited today. I've got Fatima Ali today, all the way from Saudi Arabia. She's a IT support tech, a trainer and athlete. She loves to travel and she loves just meeting people. She's very, very passionate and enthusiastic. She loves so much to learn, and we shall go into this as you guys are going to find out how we guys, got to meet. So, Fatima, welcome.
Thank you. Thank
I
you so much.
think, yeah, I think this is actually a good way to actually start. Fatima, let's take through people. How did we even meet?
All right.
Mm.
It's actually a long story, but then um, we were off from work 2 days back, and I thought, let me just scroll up on Eventbrite and check the list of events that are coming up online through Zoom because everybody is online these days. So
Absolutely.
I said, okay, let me just pull up. One of the things I mostly love is public speaking. So I thought, let me just go through that first and sign up for all the things that's matching my expertise or my liking. And I came across your name and other events, and I signed up. And I get a message back from you saying that if you would like to schedule a meeting with me, and that's how we met.
Fantastic. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because when I was like, oh, congratulations on your website and everything, I was like, oh, who is this? And then obviously we connected. But again, it just shows you the power of social media and just putting yourself out there. So I'm just so glad that you reached out to me. And look, here we are on on a Skype call. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is, of course.
Yes, so tell me how is so just tell people so what exactly do you do in detail? Because obviously we've only just met. That's a brief just a brief introduction I said about people can just people to get to know more about you. What exactly do you do?
All right. Basically, I am into IT as in networking, but
Mm,
then I also provide troubleshooting and to the staff members, of course, because I work in the institute. So I take care of the IT department, and I provide training for the staff members how they're supposed to go about using technology in an effective manner. Because ever since 2008, the schools were implemented with the idea of including technology while they make the students study,
mm,
and that's what really changed the whole dynamics. Because at that time when we were at school, it was much different. It was the traditional way of how it was taught with the chalk and the board,
yeah.
and now it's like smartboard, and
Ah,
everything is it's pretty easy, and it's more informative, and students can really visualize the whole thing, and it's much easier because every student is special,
mm,
and not everyone is able to understand when you tell them, but when it's more with visuals and a lot of diagrams and things that are graphics, it's much easier to retain that. So I do give workshops for the staff members so that they're able to effectively handle the classrooms. And apart from that, I love to travel and I love nature because I feel that I feel more grounded and myself when I'm in the nature. And
mm.
I'm also an athlete. I train, and I also participate in marathons. The first one that I did this year was in Jeddah, and followed by my last marathon, which was in Cairo, uh, near the pyramids, of course. And it was just an amazing experience that I had. I love meeting a lot of people who are like-minded and who believes in making a difference by their presence in life.
Mm.
Because there are a lot of people who have voice, but then they're not using that. But then I feel that every single person who is on this face of earth can make a difference because everybody has a story and they can all impact every person's life. And I believe strongly that everybody should find their niche and they should be able to find what they love and do that because we just live once and we need to give that best shot to our life.
Absolutely. That's actually true. And that's why I think we connected. When you first reached out to me, and obviously we had our first Skype call last week. Um, for me, what came about was oh, what came about was just your passion for, just helping people and, connecting. And we found out with someone into, like, learning and self-development. So that's straight away for me. Anyone who's into learning, developing, and improving, this world, straight away, I just want to connect with them and learn more about them and learn from them. So I think that's absolutely fascinating. You do so many things. You must be so busy. You do so many things. Yeah. So how is quarantine actually going on in Saudi Arabia?
All right, if you ask about me, I love it. Because it's actually giving us the chance to do the things that we love, because
Mm,
being busy people, we are left out for the things that we wanted to do most of the time,
mm,
because we complain in certain manners, as in we say that we don't have enough time to give time to the things that we love apart from our work. But now, since we are all in a lockdown, it actually puts us in the perspective of being more for yourself and
mm,
trying to learn things that you always want to do, because of course everything that you learn in life can be useful for, not for you itself, but for other people.
mm,
And what you learn, you can impart it to so many people, and it can change lives. And
mm,
people would say that I need to work out, I need to do this, I need to do that, read books, learn a new skill. I mean, you don't have any reason or excuse to say that you cannot do that. I am pretty much cannot wrap my head around people saying that I'm bored. I mean, man, you have so many things that you can do. Write it down and just do
yeah.
it.
And I know, crazy. Do you know what? Me too as well. It drives me crazy because I've been hearing people saying, "Oh, I haven't." Yes, I'm not gonna lie. This more than ever, this is the best time for people to learn the skills they've been wanting to learn, things they've been putting to the side. Because I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends. Because we're so busy, work, school. If you've got kids, work, home, you're tired, weekend comes up. So it's that cycle. You never get that free
Funny
time.
fact, yes,
So
of course. Now you
exactly.
have all the things that you always wanted to. Now 2020 is all about skilling up and becoming the better version of yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. So for me, again, like glad you talked about the perspective. So for me, one of the things I've been asking myself, in fact, it's my video short. I think I'm uploading it tomorrow. Is one three questions you can ask yourself every day, so people can watch the video on YouTube. But one of them is, especially in this period, is how can I grow? Because we've got so much time now. I told people, okay, you've got no. You can't tell me you've got not. If you haven't got any time now, you're never ever going to get the time to learn those skills. I
True,
say
I agree.
use the time. Even if you said, okay, I haven't got the time, how about the time you used to commute to work? Unless you live like 2 minutes, unless you live next door to your workplace. But how about, okay, you say, I'm going to use the time I used to commute to work. What? Maybe 20 minutes if those who live close, 30 minutes, longer, an hour. So you can't tell me you can't get any time to do whatever you've been wanting to do. So, like you said, me, I don't know what to use as well. I feel like those are just excuses. It's gonna now is the
Really,
best time, really. Yeah.
I also don't get when people are stuck to watching Netflix or playing games. I mean, like, really, what are
Thank
you
you.
doing? I mean, you're wasting your
That's
life. And I see that a lot of youngsters, I mean, just saying that they're bored and they want to do something. And
mm,
why don't you just pull up some things on the internet and find out? Because I actually read something recently that Elon Musk was talking about. People go to the universities just to have fun and realize things, but then the actual education can be found for free online. That's
especially.
so.
Yeah, I know, especially now more than ever. There's just stuff anywhere online on
Of course.
YouTube. Just everywhere.
Just
So
pull up what you love. Just Google it up, and you're gonna find it. And just make a schedule and work on it. I mean, it's just
that
amazing. And you want to connect with people? Find out. I mean, like, you'll find out of 100 people, you're gonna find 70% people are genuine. It's
mm,
about taking calculated risk. And people, if they are not gonna do it, they're not gonna be able to accomplish the things that they want to do in life. I mean, you
mm,
need to take certain risk in order to achieve things in life.
absolutely. That's very true. I was saying, Dr. Joe Dispenza, for those of you who don't know, Google him. So he was on a podcast and do you know what he said? He said, everyone is secretly, yeah, secretly dreamt of working from home. So now, why you got people complaining?
Is it the one that he came on Lewis House
Y-
podcast?
Yeah, yeah,
All right, I saw
exactly.
that too.
Yeah, he's actually also been on. He's also been on London Rail.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
You
too.
did what? Yeah,
Yesterday,
it's been, yeah. So when he said it, I was like, that's absolutely
nailed
so.
it.
It's just so true. Yeah. And again, one of the first, I think, videos, my first YouTube, I think it was one of my first Facebook lives. I mentioned about, you mentioned Netflix. I said, you can't tell me you haven't got time, but you've watched all these episodes on Netflix. You get what I mean? So there's plenty of time. It's just people are using it as an excuse.
Of course they are. Because I see that a lot of things that you pull up on Netflix or maybe on the internet,
Mm,
maybe on the YouTube, things that are not going to give you, most of the things that you see, they're not going to give you the beneficial knowledge. I mean, if it's going to give you knowledge and if it, ultimately you're going to be able to earn or make you a better person, of course, watch the whole day. But
mm.
then if it's not going to, I mean, why are you wasting your precious time? Life is just once that we're going to have, and time is a precious asset that we cannot let go of our hands.
That's a good way to like approach this time. Like just saying, okay, what skills would I like to learn? And for me, one of the things I've been asking myself is one of the things I've been saying to myself is I don't want to come out of quarantine the same person I was. I just wanna use this time to really, grow myself and grow my speaking business and just become out better than the person I was. Again, it comes to perspective. That's why you gotta be careful what news you're watching. What are you watching on a daily basis?
True.
All I'm concerned with for me is uh, headlines. Okay, what's going on with the lockdown? How long? What? That's it. I don't want to go into the details. All I know, okay, what's the update? What's the government saying? That's it.
There's certain things that education system does not teach us, and which is public speaking, meeting new people, grounding into the nature, and there's so many things I can actually list it down. I'm actually planning to write a book, and I hope that I finish it before we come out of the quarantine.
Okay, have you started?
I'm actually doing the draft, so there is no start or the end. I just started writing, so I'm gonna materialize it soon because there's so
Okay,
many things that you can do.
exactly. And even people who say because they haven't been having the time for books, this is exactly the best time.
There was one post that came up on Instagram, and it said that why are you saying that you're supposed to level up and find something as a side hustle, and by the time you're out from the quarantine, you're able to do something. But then it's pretty bad around the world who are unable to feed themselves on a daily basis. If we as people who are the middle class or the people who are above the poverty line, if they can really skill up, what can happen is that you will be able to help these people later on. If you see it from their correct perspective and the right way, this is the outcome, what's going to happen eventually. Not that we're going to complain of what already happened. People need to realize that if we are going to become better versions of ourselves, then only we can be able to impact those people who are less fortunate and the ones without privileges like us, because they don't even have the basic things like food, shelter, and a job to live for on day-to-day basis. But we should be thankful and feel we should have the gratitude that we have those basic things and we can do something about with our future.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. That's actually very true. And the other thing with regards to people who are in that situation, again, it's perspective. Right now, all the successful people, all people who've made it, all the famous people. Um, this is right now is the best time to contact them to get in touch, especially now because they're all at home. And I'm sure you've seen on YouTube or podcasts or everywhere now those people are now offering free coaching calls. Have you seen how many? Do you know what's her name? Mel Robbins. Yeah,
Uh-huh, yes, of
Mel
course.
Robbins. She's always now on YouTube. She's offering free coaching calls. Do you know how much she costs an hour? But
Uh,
now they're offering all those exact a lot for free now. This is the best time to contact those people. Oh, this is what I would like to create. Can you help me? Because they're home, the chances now, because that everyone is home, they have more chances of getting back to you right now as we speak. I've already contacted 2 people, and guess what? Both of them have replied back to me. You understand? So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's the way you look at it. This is the best. So this is a person I resonate with. Let me send them a message. The question is, what's the worst that can happen to me? Fatima, let's look at it this way. Yeah, you reached out to me. The worst that could have happened is for me not getting back to you. You get what I mean?
Right.
So, and what are you going to lose? You've got nothing to lose, especially now. This is the easiest moment or period in time to get in touch with those people. Just send them a DM or go on Instagram, send them a DM. Go actually let's give people a challenge. If you would like to start something, go on those people you follow, go and send 10 DMs and tell me tomorrow or after a week, if of those 10, if you don't get a reply from one, then I'm crazy, because I know of those 10 you
Of
will
course,
get
of
this.
course, Sam. I know
Yeah,
this because I know
yeah.
this for sure that out of 10 people, at least two would respond, or at least one
Thank
would
you.
respond. But
That's
then,
what I'm saying.
as long as you're not going to try it, you will never know. You always the answer is going to be no.
Exactly. And for me, even I can't go into the story. I'll tell you. When I contacted one of these people, yeah, I say, what's the worst thing that can happen? I contacted them. This is crazy. Yeah, this is I've given people a week. I messaged them just before I went to bed. Guess what? In the morning, not even 2 hours. In the morning, I was shocked when I read the message. I was like, I can't use the word. I don't want to swear. Yeah, I couldn't believe it was so quick. Another person I also did. None of them took over 24 hours. Whereas before quarantine, we take that because
They would never
everyone
respond.
was exactly because everyone is busy. Now people have got more time more than ever, and that's why I'm just telling people. I mean, just reach out. Just reach out and make sure you've got nothing to lose. And now,
What's the
guys,
worst that can happen? They're not going to give
exactly
you.
that's it. Mm. What's the worst that can happen? Exactly that's it.
They don't
Some
even know you.
exactly. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, that's thank you for that. They don't even know you. Yeah, they don't even know. If someone doesn't reply, that's fine. They don't even. You've got nothing. At least you've reached out. You get what I mean. But you're not going to know unless you do. And for me, 2 people have contacted. Just 2 people have contacted. Both have reached out, and so it's one of them things you gotta, really. I think it's important people really utilize just this time, and it doesn't have to be something big. It could be just learning, like we said, it's a new skill. It could be anything because
Anything. If you want to improve something, you write it down and you
mm,
try to find those people. And if you're with time, you actually, when you write down things, it's going to actually reinforce the thought in your head. And with time, you're going to materialize it. Because
mm,
if you're not going to write it down, you're not going to materialize it at all. I mean, when you do that, you're going to find ways to make that happen. Yesterday,
mm,
actually, I was looking into one of the Instagram videos. I was on Brendan's page, and ultimately I landed on another Brendan, and he lives in Canada. And I added him up, and he replies me back saying that thank you for responding. And I tell him that I'm really glad that you added me, and also that I'm thankful that he messaged me back regarding something related to public speaking, because I told him that I want to work on my um, humor speeches, which I'm really bad at. And he gave me really good tips. And I told him that there's certain videos that I've gone through in the Instagram, and I loved it. I mean, you don't get to have the techniques, because when it comes to public speaking, there's a lot of elements that are involved
oh,
when you speak.
absolutely.
But
Mm,
then you don't get that. You have to look for those things. You're going to have mentors and you have a lot of people, but then what you are looking for, you need to find it and make it happen. And the only
ab-
way is that you reach out to people. And most
absolutely.
of the people are held back from what other people are going to think about them. You need to first think that first thing, they don't even know you. You just
Yeah.
got to give it a shot and see what happens. You want to learn
Mm,
a skill, even if you look bad in front of them, just give it a shot. Nobody
yeah.
cares.
No, that's actually true. And as me and you, we know this, and some people think, these people. I'm not gonna lie. People who are making a difference in the world are the most. most available people who always want to help, because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. So if you reach out to someone, because can you imagine how many messages they get? Thousands. So if someone doesn't reply to you, sometimes they probably even haven't read your message, because you can imagine they get so many, and especially in this period, they get so many because people are down, people are facing problems, people are a bit uncertain, people are fearful, so they're getting loads of messages. That's why even me, I was shocked when someone got back to me in under 12 hours. And this is a testimony to anyone that's actually watching. I was going to watch this. Is I didn't even know. I've reached out. I didn't see you've reached out to people. They've got back to you, right? Because people have got so much free time now to go through their messages, their home, people like DMs. So that's why that now they're replying back to people. In fact, you might end up getting a free coaching session. You get what I mean? And
Yeah.
and this is what's going on. In fact, I'm putting it out there. If you've got anything, reach out to me. Yeah. Okay. Reach. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying I'll get back to everyone, but we have to reach out. Like you've reached out. I'm reached out. It's just that
Imagine
having that
the
mindset.
difference that we have between each other, the time difference. Imagine, I mean, it was just by chance because you need to be optimistic. You need to find, uh, if you're going to have that in your head, you're going to attract that. Law of
Mm,
attraction is really powerful.
absolutely. Let's talk about it. Yeah, because I heard you touch it. Um how do you think this law really works? Because there are certain things that happen, and when you look back, you're like, oh, this happened, and that happened. But had you not done a certain thing, then when you start connecting the dots, you say, oh, if I'd not done X, Y, and Z, this wouldn't have happened. How do you explain that law of
All right.
attraction?
It is a bit complicated, but then I've been practicing that since a long time, actually. I The first time I actually watched The Secret, the movie, which was back in 2006, and it had Bob
Mm,
Proctor in it, and it was Joe Vitale. There was a lot of people in that short movie, and that really inspired me.
mm,
And over the time, I actually did a lot of meditation, like Jose Silva, and I was also more into Mind Valley. Earlier, it used to be Finer Minds, and the CEO for that is, of course, Vishen Lakiani. I
I
mean,
love it. I love
inspirational person,
you love vision.
amazing,
I love vision. Yeah, yeah.
just amazing
Mind
person.
it
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So, oh yeah, and they're actually getting back the same. I don't know if it's the upgrade version of the Ultra mindset by Jose Silva. They're getting
Mm.
back that course again. Earlier
Oh,
they
is
had,
it?
yeah, they had that long time ago. That I also have a book by Jose Silva. I mean, not the older version, but then the newer one.
Oh,
I've been practicing meditation since a long time, but then with time, I when I come across something that I like, I try to implement that in my day-to-day life. So the recent one is Wim Hof's breathing method, and also the cold showers. I mean, I try to implement so many things that really helps me be grounded and think clearly. And
mm,
to coming back to the law of attraction,
mm,
you need to first be grateful for what you already have. That's the first fundamental thing that you need to do. And after that, you can ask for anything that you want. So you already have something, and now you're going to ask for certain thing that you wish to have, and you're going to write it down, and you're going to make sure that you're consistent with it. Yes, as humans, we all can be bogged down with anything that happens in our life, but then we need to get up and try to do it again. I mean, if you're going to have as simple as trying to get up early in the morning, if you have this one thing that you want to improve, try to get up early in the morning. Set your alarm. If it's not one alarm, set three, four alarms. And you need to get up and have this thing like Mel Robbins says, 3, 2, 1 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the method. And you get up, just get
yeah.
up out with the day. Um,
Mm,
that's the thing. If you cannot really, in times, because we live in a world where we have a lot of information and we have a lot of distraction as well on an equal level. So you need
mm,
to find something that works because there's nothing such as wrong or there's nothing such as right. It's something that really works for you is the right thing. So when you're going to work on things that are hard, with time it's going to become natural thing for you.
yes.
And you're more focused and you're more in the present moment. I've actually come across this meditation where you are trying to get all your senses in one time. I mean, trying to activate all the senses, five senses at the same time. And the last one is the present moment. And that's all what you have. Because we're trying to, most of the people that you find are either regretting about the past that happened, or they are complaining about the past. So
Mm,
they're living in their body's living in the present, but then their thoughts and the things that held them back from the future is their past. And there are some people who are worried about the future. So by this, the middle part, which is the present moment, is being left out. So they're
mm,
neither happy, they're neither sad. So they're in a limbo where they have no idea what's going on. So you need to tell yourself every time that you ask yourself, or check on yourself, that if you're in the present moment, is the moment that you're actually present in that moment, because it really makes you come back to your own self. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
yes,
So,
yes.
trying to be focused at the moment is the moment that we have right now and nothing else. So, by this, if you have this clear concept in your head, you can focus on anything that you want in your life. Because
That's
um, because if you don't have that, then it becomes really difficult. So it
mm,
goes about with everything. I mean, when you cultivate these habits, they become a second nature, and by
mm,
that, it becomes a part of your personality. And now it's it's you now. If you're Cam, if I'm Fatma, it becomes a part of my personality or your personality. And that actually, people, if you think that people don't notice that, they actually do. Everybody notices the other person. So they will see that there's a difference in your personality. And even, whether they say it or not, they know there's a difference, because if you worked on yourself, it will show from
mm.
your actions. And I also always believe that I don't go by the words. I always go by the actions that people do, because that speaks a lot compared to the words. Because people can speak, but then there's nothing that happens.
Absolutely. That's very true. Oh my God. I love what you just shared. So what I've got, so for that lot work, those are the basics. Oh my God. I don't think uh, you've made it so simple. I've even got in my head. So first you have to be grateful for what you've got. That's the ground. That's the primary. That's where you start from. So you're grateful for whatever you've got. Yes. And
Yes.
then you gotta focus on it, like work on it, maybe write it down, but at least it's that consistency, isn't it?
Because
Yeah.
when you write it down, you're gonna reinforce in your mind that you're gonna make it possible. It's like
Mm,
you're writing your future down, or
yes.
you're gonna work on it. Because
Mm,
if you write it down, that means your brain thinks that, okay, this is something that I need to work on. You've written it down. Okay, now I need to work it. I'll work on this. I
mm,
usually every morning when I get up, I write down the things that I want to do, and I try to strike them up by the end of the day. I need to do that, because if I miss them out, one thing is that I make sure that I do all the things that I list down. But then at
mm.
times you cannot do everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then I don't beat myself up. Well, while I was young, I used to do that. But then with time, I learned that you need to be kind to yourself. Being kind is important, because
Mm,
if you're not kind to yourself, then who's going to be there? Because this is the only body we live in.
that's true.
So we need to be
That's
kind to ourselves. If one day goes or 2 days you're left out, it's okay. I mean, life happens.
mm,
Everybody goes through something or the other, and
mm,
it should not discourage them from becoming the better versions of themselves. They need to
mm,
work, whatever it is. I mean, if it's as simple as solving a Rubik cube, start with the writing down the formula, memorize it, work on it. You keep on practicing, it makes you perfect every
mm.
time.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So yeah. So start by being grateful for what you've got. Concentrate on it. That focus every day. At least write it down so you can, focus your mind and tell your mind this is what I'm after. And then, lastly, which is the hardest, staying in the present moment.
Yeah.
That's it. I think that's the hardest for most people, isn't it? Yeah.
Of course it is, but then the moment you ask yourself,
Mm,
that brings you to the present moment. This simple as that. Because if you're busy and you tell yourself, am I focused? That means you're acknowledging yourself that, am I there? Then you are there. So by that, you are in the present moment, because a lot of people are just on the automatic mode and their life is just passing by. I mean,
yeah.
just right in front of the eyes, and they're just not doing anything about it. They They should
mm,
be. I mean, that we got gift of time right now, and they can really use that to do anything. I mean, learn how to do painting, write a book. I mean, this is not what you can do. I mean, like, imagine the things that you can actually accomplish in this time.
absolutely. That's actually very true. Fantastic. So, Fatima, what else do you think? So let's go to people who are just going really, really like through difficult times. I know we've mentioned yes, learn something. So, what message would you say to people that are really going through a difficult time? Because there's so many people that are going through really, as in really difficult times. What would you say to them?
All right. I would say that you need to have faith in your God or whatever faith of religion that you follow. Because
Mm,
if you don't have that, then you're lost. Because you need to have the spiritual side of you also, because we're just not born like this. I mean, there is a reason why we are all here on this earth, and maybe God wants you to go through that situation so that you become a better person. I can say from my personal experience that yes, adversity is something that it's not in our hands, but then all of us have to go through at some point in our lives. But then that also makes us more grateful for the thing that didn't we didn't have in our lives. And now when we have it, we are more grateful because by that we understand the pain for the other person.
mm,
And you should also think in a positive manner that the situation that you're in right now, it's not going to last forever. If you're going to really work on yourself, you can really make a change. I mean, I've actually met a lot of people in my life who were basically nothing, but then they really worked on their skills and they're really big people right now. And
mm,
that's something that people can really take away, because not every situation lasts longer. There are always good days that will come by, but then
mm,
the adversity teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you more about life than what you're in your good times, because in good times you're not going to be having anything that you can think about or ponder on. You can go about with your life, but then when you're in a situation where you have to figure out every single thing or fight your way to
mm,
come above all the odds, you learn so many things. You become more wiser. People who are in a situation like this should not be disheartened in any way,
mm,
because there'll be good times that are going to come by. But then they're supposed to uh, become more stronger in their faith. If they're Christian, if they're Muslim, if they're any other religion that's there, they should become more stronger in their faith, because um, God brought us in this world for a reason, and
mm,
just let it not get wasted like this. Everybody has a role in on this earth, because you have a role, I have a role. You just need to find that calling, and
absolutely. Mm,
there can be lives that can be changed, and people just need inspiration, because that can change so many things. I mean, as a kid, I remember like getting inspired by so many things, and I always wanted to do many things, and I used to write it down. Um, while growing up, I wasn't as privileged as other kids in my teenage years. But then when I started working, I was able to buy a lot of things that I always wanted to. But then that made me more humble and more giving, because I understand how it feels like not having things when you're younger. Because um, you would think that, oh, my dad is going to give me that, or my dad is going to get me this thing and that. But then when you don't get that, you have certain insecurities or certain things that hold you back. But
mm,
then
mm,
when you grow up and you're able to do that, because and the other thing is that you cannot blame your parents also, because they're trying their level best to make the ends meet. You cannot always
absolutely.
blame them. I mean, they've been your supports ever since you were born, and
Exactly.
you need to be grateful about that also. You need to be grateful every single thing. There was time that I will tell you the story. Um, I was praying, and at one point, I wanted to be really grateful when we went on the lockdown. I wanted to write down every single thing that I'm grateful for. So I said, okay, when I'm done, I'm going to sit down and write the things I'm grateful for. I kept on writing and writing, first page, second page, third page. It was just not the first, it's like the A4 paper. And I write it on the first blank page. Then I turn it and I write behind. So it's like, it's more than 4 or 5 pages already. So
Mm.
It was late because I kept on writing and writing, and at the end I said everything in the middle. When I ended, I said everything in the middle that I missed, and I'm grateful for that even.
I love it. I love it.
Because when you write, you get to understand that there were little things that are there, and you have to be thankful about that also. Because
Mm.
if you don't have those things, I mean, you were missed out on the greatest thing. It's like you climbing the mountain and you keep on thinking about reaching on the top, but then you don't see the whole sceneries and the beauty of the nature and people going about, the
Mm.
birds flying. I
Yes.
mean, you're missing out on so many things. Those, it's just like the happiness that there in our life. I mean, it's not going to be forever. It's just a very journey that everybody has. If
Mm.
everybody had a straight line, then it would have not been as excited as it should be.
Mm.
So when you go on the top of it, of the mountain, then you realize that you've reached it, and you're grateful at that time when you reach. But then you need to enjoy the whole journey, just like how Gary Vee says. I mean, you need to enjoy the journey that you're on.
Enjoy the journey. Yeah.
That's what
Fantastic.
I mean. That's the reason why first thing when I get up in the morning, I need to really see or read about something that's motivating, because that's going to really roll me up on the day that I have in my hand. Because I want, by the
Mm.
end of the day, I want to be grateful for all the things that happen in my life. I will not
So,
say that I have all the things in the world, but then I'm happy and I'm grateful for all the things that I have. Whatever
mm.
that I have, I'm happy with it. I don't need to have fancy things, or I don't need to hoard things that I'm just gonna have just to impress other people. I don't need
Mm.
to. I mean, I believe in having minimal things in life, and at the same time to travel and to be there for my family and enjoy life as how it should be, because you were born here to impact other people's life, but at the same time to enjoy the beauty of the earth and meet so many people from different walks of life. I mean, it's so simple as that, but then the society is so complicated. They made it so difficult for people to realize those things, because as kids, if you see, I'm just going to get this up. If there's a black kid or the white kid, they don't feel the difference between them. They connect each other through heart,
Mm.
and they love each other. But then
Yeah.
while they grow up, the society and everything is put in, the things are put in their head, and that's where the differences come in between them. But before that, there's nothing such as like that. I mean,
Mm.
there's no discrimination for whatever reason that's there. I mean, irrespective of the color, race, or religion, that should not matter at all. I have actually, when I traveled to India recently, um, I made a lot of friends from different religions and different walks of life. And one thing I realized living there for 6 months was that above every single thing, humanity was the main thing that existed. And I was
Mm.
so amazed, and I felt so happy realizing that, because if I would have not lived there and made so many friends and seen life really closely, because I was also volunteering there, and I've also seen how people are not able to afford certain things. And it's it's heartbreaking, but then I felt that if I'm going to work on myself, then someday I will be able to impact not just one kid, but many kids and the youngsters, and also people who need people like me can make a big difference in other people's lives. So you need to be
Mm.
optimistic. The people, if you want to make difference in other people's life, you need to work on yourself. Doesn't matter which skill you want to work on, just work on things that you are passionate about, because if you're passionate about it, you're not going to see the time, or it's not going to that nothing's going to be the reason for you to stop from learning those things.
Absolutely. That's actually very true. And actually, so you talked about, so those who are going through challenges, just to know, I mean, they can, whatever they're going through, that's the journey. In
Yeah,
fact, they're going to come out even stronger. And like you said, I think the best life lessons are through the hard times. I think I had someone say, with those hard times, we keep in our hearts, because once we come out, we're stronger. And I believe, I think someone said the 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 bigger the challenge, the bigger the growth. So the more life presses you, as long as you're still alive, you're always going to come out stronger. And sometimes you come out through something and you say, if I've gone through this, nothing is going to hit me down, isn't it? So it's just really embracing and enjoying that journey, like you said. I actually like that analogy. I've never had anyone explain about it. Like if you're climbing a mountain, most of us are like, I want to get to that top. I want to get to that mountain top, and then you forget to look at, like you said, the birds, the flowers, the beautiful scenery, and isn't that what happens? We always want to get
Did
to
you
the top,
imagine
and
that? You can just imagine
yeah,
that. You feel the air, the
yes,
breeze.
yeah, exactly, yeah, because you just focus. I just want to get that. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, so God, I learned so much. I wish I was, I wish. How can I say? I wish I could get a transcript of everything we've talked about today. I just learned so much, literally. Yeah, literally so much. Yeah. So the other question I wanted to ask is, so with this thing of how do you stay? I want us to dive a bit deep. How do you really being in the present moment? Also, that's something I'm practicing. That's something I struggle with as well. Sometimes, you're thinking about your goals because when you're so ambitious, you're thinking about, oh, I feel like I've got so many goals, especially 2020. I feel like, oh my God, how am I going to accomplish all these goals? When you look at my goals for 2020, they're just so big. So how do I stay grounded in what I'm doing, which obviously I enjoy, but I'm also like, when am I going to accomplish those goals? Does that make
Oh
so
yeah, I
sometimes
do.
I find myself going fast thinking, okay, when am I accomplishing this? When am I accomplishing this?
All
And then
right.
sometimes I
The
have
first
to even
thing
tell
is,
myself,
all right. The
"Mm,
first thing is that since we are all of us on lockdown, we are all overwhelmed with the idea that 2020 has given us a lot of opportunity with time that we can
yeah,
accomplish so many things. But then we are putting our hands in so many things that we are not able to finish the things that we want to. So
mm,
recently, when I was going through one of the courses, online free courses by Brendan Brochard, I came across this thing where he talks about people concentrating on three most important goals at a time. And if you do that, then you're able to accomplish them. Then move on to the other three, then the other three, and by this you're able to accomplish many things, in maybe probably less than a month or two. You'll be able to
mm,
accomplish all of them, strike them off from your list. But then you need to write down the things that you want to do first, and pick up the ones on the other list. You're going to write down the things that you want to do, which are really important that you need to do right here and right now. Start
mm,
with the ones that you are going to put it on the first three from the whole big list.
mm.
So that's how we're going to be able to accomplish things that we want to do.
Great, yeah. Oh, by the way, I love Brendan Bouchard.
I love
Yeah,
him too.
he's
I
yeah,
so feel
he's
like he synchronizes the way he speaks. I just admire him so much.
Yeah, and he's very very genuine guy. Yeah, absolutely love his material. Yeah, hope anyone that's obviously going to obviously watch this or also gets that, because there's so many people in that situation where they feel like, "Ah, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that," but that's actually good.
All
So
of us are in that
focus.
situation, but then you need to narrow down the things that you want to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Because we
Otherwise, you
have
end
time
up
still.
stuck.
We still have time. We're still in a lockdown. We don't know we're gonna be going out. We don't know to try to do the
Actually,
things
that's
we want to do. So they start with the important things first.
yeah, that's absolutely yeah, that's true. Yeah. What time is it there now?
It's about 11:25 right now. Or
Okay, yeah, 2 hours
12:25.
ahead. Well, yeah, no, yeah,
PM.
20, okay, 2 hours ahead. So go, it's coming to midnight. No, I think I'm gonna have to obviously let you go get some rest. And I know you've had a long day. You
Oh,
had
I had a
some,
long day after the martial art classes. Yeah.
yeah, you had a class. So yeah, and especially
Good.
was supposed to do this phone call, this video call earlier, but obviously we were all busy, so we ended up doing this. That's why it's late now. Yes, no, thanks so much
Welcome.
for the time and all the insights. Definitely learned so much, and no, I'll definitely be hearing from you. And any final thoughts to anyone that's going to be tuning in? Any final thoughts? What would you say?
All right. I would say that at times like this, you need to believe in yourself, make your faith more stronger so that you're not at the verge of committing suicide or any other thing that's that shouldn't be done at this time, because all of us are going through the same situation. One way or the
Mm,
other, we sometimes we would get up and not feel like doing certain things, but then at least out of 10 things, try to do two or three. You still have time. I mean, take it slowly, be kind to yourself, do things
mm,
one step at a time. Take it, consider like this: today is the day, I'm going to make it the best day of my life. Take one day at a time. Do the things
mm.
that you want to do the things that you love to do. You want to cook, you want to learn something new, pull up on the internet. There are a lot of information that you're going to find on the internet that's free. uh, there, and the people who are not privileged enough, they can still find, people can be so creative, you have no idea. People can be so creative in times of need, or when they are free. I mean, people can be amazing when it comes to coming up with creative ideas. And
Mm.
believe in yourself. I mean, if you don't, then find someone around you who inspires you. Read books. There are a lot of people that come across, they don't like reading books. I mean, you should. There's a free course that they can actually go about on the internet and find regarding speed reading and how to read a book. It's by Jim Wick.
Jim
Uh,
Quick, yeah,
he's amazing.
amazing guy, absolutely amazing. God, yeah,
So,
that
so
that.
these things we're not taught at school, especially speed reading and how to read books. We're not taught.
Mm,
There's so many things I'm gonna mention in my book. The things
mm.
that are not taught at school. I mean, they should be actually the things that can be useful for our life, and we don't get that. I mean, we learn when we grow up. I mean, we just wasted our whole life. I mean, the whole.
I know
So
that's true. Yeah.
so you need to find, first thing, if you want to read a book, find a way how you can improve your speed reading. Then you can start
Mm,
reading books eventually. And by that, you're going to have the comprehension level that's going to be high, and you're going to understand what you're going to read. Because if you're going to read those books, you're going to be having a lot of knowledge and wisdom and wiseness,
mm.
as in because you're living the whole story through the eyes of the author. And everybody should go through that experience, because it's just amazing how some authors are just ahead of their time. You can learn so much, and you need to find people and surround yourself with people who are positive, because that's gonna not to let you down. Because as I
Mm.
said, like as humans, we have the tendency of becoming um, sad or negative about certain things in our lives, because that's how we are. That's the reason why we need to pour ourselves with positive things and surround ourselves with people who are positive all the time. Because if you don't have that, then um, you're not going to be able to accomplish things in life. If you want to accomplish, then you need to find people that are good. There's so many things that can inspire you or motivate you to be like that person. There can be so many things, like
Yes.
from the character itself, if they have a good character, by the way they speak, the good words that they say, um, the knowledge that they can share from their life, their experiences. I mean, that can change so many people's lives. Why not? I mean, there's so much of information on the internet, but then it comes down to you what you want. Because if you want to have a good life, and if you want to have the power to change someone's lives, this is what you need to do. I mean, like, just don't be sitting on the internet or Netflix playing games. It's not going to be beneficial at all. Uh,
Absolutely.
you need to find something that's going to be useful for you, and also useful for the person that you're going to impact the life for. Because the knowledge that you have, you're not supposed to keep it. It's supposed to be passed on to every single
Mm.
person you come across in your life. This is what we were born for. I mean, we were not born to be selfish. We were not eyes. It's not always about me. It's about we as people.
Mm. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And like everything you said, I agree with. And like you said, you need to embrace the challenges. And I also like to say, what's that saying? This too shall pass. Yeah, it's not come to stay. It's not without a without a doubt. Whatever we're going through, this too shall pass. It's not come to stay, and learn as much as you can. Like you said, find people who hold you accountable. Get someone who inspires you. I mean, they've documented their life somewhere in a book, and then learn from them, and definitely we'll be able to get through these times. Thanks so much. Yeah. Thanks so much, and I'll hear from you. Yeah, tomorrow. I better let you go get some rest. Yeah, because it's coming to midnight your side. So I'll better let you get some rest, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Take care. Bye bye.